If there's one thing that separates men who naturally attract women from those who constantly struggle, it's this: they know what not to do. Most advice you hear focuses on what men should do, how to be more confident, how to impress her, how to keep her interested. And while these things matter, what's often more important are the mistakes you must avoid. Because attraction isn't just about making the right moves, it's about not making the wrong ones. Mistake number 1: never seek validation from her. Let's start with the first mistake. Never seek validation from her. Seeking validation is one of the biggest attraction killers, yet most men don't even realize they're doing it. It comes in many forms: needing constant reassurance, asking questions like, "Do you still like me?" or "Are you mad at me?" over-explaining yourself, or constantly wondering if she misunderstood you. It's all about fishing for compliments. "Do you think I'm funny?" or "Am I attractive to you?" At its core, validation seeking is about insecurity. It's about placing your sense of worth in her hands instead of standing firm in who you are. The truth is, women don't want to be your emotional caretaker. The moment she feels like she's responsible for making you feel good about yourself, attraction begins to die. She wants a man who already knows his own worth, not someone waiting for her to tell him he's enough. So, how do you stop seeking validation? Detach from her reaction. If you say something funny, don't look at her to see if she laughed. If you make a decision, don't second-guess it based on her opinion. Stand firm in who you are. Give validation. Don't seek it. Instead of needing her to confirm your worth, turn the tables. Challenge her. Compliment her in a way that shows you see her depth, not just her beauty. Remember, she's attracted to confidence, not neediness. Confidence isn't about arrogance. It's about being secure in yourself, whether she approves or not. A man who doesn't seek validation commands respect, and respect leads to attraction. Mistake number 2: never put her on a pedestal. Now let's talk about never putting her on a pedestal. There's this dangerous belief many men hold: the idea that if they treat a woman like a queen, she'll treat them like a king. But in reality, the more you put her on a pedestal, the more she looks down on you. Attraction is not built through worship, it's built through respect. A woman cannot respect you if you act like she's above you. This doesn't mean treating her badly, but it does mean treating her like a human being, not a goddess. Because here's the truth: she doesn't want to be worshipped. She wants to be challenged, intrigued, and engaged. She wants a man who stands beside her, not beneath her. So how do you stop putting her on a pedestal? Don't over-compliment her. If you're constantly telling her how amazing she is, she'll stop believing it. Compliments are most powerful when they're earned and rare. Have your own life. A man who puts a woman on a pedestal often does so because he has nothing else going for him. Get busy. Have goals, a purpose, and your own passions. Call her out. If she does something disrespectful, say something. If she's acting entitled, don't tolerate it. A woman respects a man who sets boundaries and holds his ground. Mistake number 3: never let her control the relationship. Next, never let her control the relationship. Women will test you, not because they're manipulative or cruel, but because they need to know who you really are. They'll test your patience, your confidence, and your ability to hold your ground. If you fail these tests, she'll lose respect for you. The worst thing you can do as a man is let a woman dictate the direction of the relationship. This happens when you agree to everything she says to keep the peace. You let her make all the decisions because you're afraid of upsetting her. You apologize constantly, even when you've done nothing wrong. But here's the deal. A woman doesn't want to lead. She wants to trust that you can. Leadership doesn't mean control. It means direction. A man who knows where he's going and stands firm in his path is a man a woman can trust. If you let her take control, she will resent you for it. Mistake number 4. Never be afraid to walk away. Continued. Walking away can trigger a deep, instinctive response in her. She sees you as a man who isn't afraid to lose her, and this makes her realize she must bring her best to keep you. Here's the truth. Women don't want a man they can control. They want a man they have to earn. So when should you walk away? There are clear signs when she disrespects you. Disrespect can come in many forms: dismissing your opinions, mocking your ambitions, constantly testing your patience. The moment you tolerate this behavior, you teach her that it's acceptable. When she plays mind games, if she's constantly hot and cold, stringing you along, or making you feel uncertain about where you stand, this is manipulation, not love. When she's no longer interested, if she's pulling away, not engaging, or treating you like an option, match her energy and leave. Never beg for attention. If she values you, she'll notice your absence. Now, how to walk away with strength. Don't announce it. Weak men try to make a scene or say things like, "You'll regret this." Strong men simply disappear. Don't make it about her. Walking away isn't about punishing her. It's about you refusing to stay in a situation that doesn't serve you. Never look back. One of the biggest mistakes men make is walking away, but then texting her, checking in, or hoping she comes back. If you walk for good. The final truth. A man who can walk away is a man who chooses his self-respect over temporary comfort, and that is the kind of man a woman never wants to lose. Mistake number 5. Never be inconsistent with who you are. Now, we reach one of the most critical points. Never be inconsistent with who you are. Women are drawn to certainty, not the kind that comes from arrogance or false bravado, but the kind that comes from a man who knows himself, a man who doesn't waver, shift, or mold himself to fit someone else's expectations. A man who is inconsistent, who says one thing but does another, who changes depending on who he's with, who adjusts his personality like a chameleon, will always lose a woman's respect. Why? Because deep down she's looking for something solid, a foundation that doesn't crack under pressure, a presence that doesn't dissolve when challenged, a man who, no matter where he is, remains himself. Here's the sad truth. Most men fail this test without even realizing it. They think they're being adaptable. They think they're just reading the room or adjusting to the situation. But the truth is, they change their humor, their values, their opinions, all to avoid conflict, all to be liked. What they don't realize is that every time they shift to please someone else, they lose a little bit of their authenticity, and that is the fastest way to kill attraction. How inconsistency kills attraction. Here's why inconsistency kills attraction. It makes her question who you really are. If you're always changing, she can never trust that what you're showing her is the real you. She'll start doubting your words, second-guessing your intentions, and ultimately losing interest. It signals weakness, not adaptability. A strong man can adapt to different situations without losing himself. He can be fun at a party, serious in a meeting, comforting to a friend, all while remaining the same person at his core. But a man who completely changes depending on his environment looks weak, like someone who needs external approval to function. It makes her feel unsafe. If one day you say you love deep conversations, but the next day you act like you don't care about anything serious, if you talk about commitment, then avoid the topic the next moment. She won't know which version of you to trust. And a woman who doesn't trust you can never truly desire you. The power of being unshakable. The most attractive men in history were the ones who never bent to fit the world around them. Think of Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and philosopher. Despite all the chaos around him, he remained firm in his principles, never shifting based on public opinion. Or Bruce Lee, he adapted in battle, yes, But at his core, he remained true to his philosophy, his discipline, and his essence. Even today, the most magnetic men are the ones who stand their ground, not in an aggressive or stubborn way, but in a way that says, "This is who I am. I will evolve, I will grow, but I will never betray myself." That kind of strength, that kind of certainty is rare, and that's what makes it so powerful. How to stop being inconsistent. Define your values and stick to them. If you don't know what you stand for, you'll fall for anything. Take time to clarify what matters to you, and once you do, don't abandon those values just because a situation gets uncomfortable. Be the same man in all situations, whether you're with your boss, your best friend, or a woman you're attracted to. Be the same person. Adjust your approach when needed, but never adjust your character. Match your words with your actions. If you say you'll do something, do it. If you claim to have a certain mindset, live by it. The moment your actions and words don't align, you lose credibility and attraction dies. Attraction isn't just about what you do, it's about what you refuse to tolerate. A man who seeks validation, puts a woman on a pedestal, lets her control the relationship, fears walking away, or is inconsistent in who he is, loses respect, loses power, and ultimately loses attraction. But a man who stands firm, who knows his worth, who leads without fear, and who never compromises his self-respect, that's the man she remembers. That's the man she values. That's the man she desires. In a world full of men who bend, break, and beg, a man who stands unshaken is rare. So ask yourself, are you the kind of man a woman can't help but respect? Or are you just another man hoping for her approval? The choice is yours.